Hi Michaelites, welcome back to my YouTube channel Maths for Michaelites by NKV. So dear children, before starting today's class, I want to inform you regarding your attendance. Almost a month is over, many of you have not joined, and those who joined late, for them I have given the time Saturday till 5 o'clock. But still many of you have not submitted and sending me late. So now onward, I will not accept anyone, right? Today onward, I am not accepting anyone, right? And whatever the time I am giving for the assignment, after that, if you are sending, I will not mark any grade on that. I will not accept that one also, right? So fixed timing. After that, this is your problem, net problem, or any other problem. You send it before time, right? And I'll think about the time. If I am giving more work, then I'll give more time. That I will think whether you will be able to do it or not, right? So this is regarding your attendance. And after this, many other problems which I am facing, that is, many of you are not writing your name, class, section and the assignment number in the top margin of your assignment, and because of this I am not able to recognize whose is this. And in your mail body also you are not writing in the subject line your name, class, section, assignment number. You are giving your own names, the holiday homework or trigonometric table or triangle chapter or this and that. So giving your own headings, please. Whatever the number I am giving, assignment number 9, 8, 7, only that you should write. So these are the two things which are very important for you. So in future, I hope you will take care. And once again, I am telling you, I will not accept anyone after that time, right? So please note this carefully. So before starting, I want to tell you, in the end of the previous video, I taught you about terminating and non-terminating numbers and what was the rule for that I explained you. So once again, I am starting from terminating and non-terminating rational numbers. So let's start today's class. So children, observe the denominators of the following expansions. So some expansions are there. You see these expansions and observe their denominators. So 0.342 is equal to 342 upon 1000 after removing the decimal, and this we can write 342 upon 1000, we can write 10 to the power 3, and this is equal to 342 upon 2 to the power 3 into 5 to the power 3. So in these cases, if you will observe all these expansions, what we are observing, that after removing the decimal, we are getting denominator as 1000 or 10,000. This we can write in the powers of 10, and 10 we can factorize as 5 into 2 or 2 into 5, and then according to power we are writing power 3 here. So here what we are observing, we observe that the denominators of the decimal expansions are in the powers of 10, which further can be expressed in the powers of its prime factors 2 and 5. So denominator we can factorize in the prime factors, we can get 2 and 5. Now you observe terminating decimals. So here we are taking one rational number 5 upon 2. If we will divide, we will get 2.5. Or 1 by 8, if we will divide 1 by 8, then we will get 0.125. So in order to express a fraction p upon q in the decimal form, what we have to do? We have to divide the numerator p by q, and if after a finite number of steps the no remainder is left, that means remainder is 0, then we call it a terminating decimal. So we are finding the remainder after dividing. So we will stop whenever the remainder is 0. Then if it is coming 0, then we are saying it is terminating decimal. So for this, we observe these following fractions. 5 upon 8, 0.625. If you will divide it, you will get this. and 37 upon 64 will get 0.578125. 97 upon 125 is equal to 0.776. 53 upon 125 is equal to 0.424. 117 upon 128 is equal to 0.9140625. So a fraction is a terminating decimal only when the prime factors of its denominator are 2 and 5. So here I have written all the denominators in red color. So if you will try to factorize, you will get either the factors of 2 or the factors of 5 or the factors of 2 and 5 both. So in the first case 8 factors of 8 are 2 into 2 into 2, that is power 2 to the power 3. Similarly 64. So these all we can write in the form of prime factors of 2 and 5. So on the base of this we have already done one theorem, that if denominators can be factorized in the powers of 2 and 5, then it will be a terminating decimal. So now you see this question, which of the following fractions are terminating decimals? This we want to check. So in these cases no need to divide. What will be the method regarding this? I taught you the theorems. What we will do, here we will see the denominators. Here 4096, here 875, here 300 and here 3125. So we will observe these denominators to decide whether it is terminating or not. So you see the answer. First number was 1000 upon 4096. So you will write the factors of 4096. It will go by 2. How many times? 12 times. Right? So you will get here the factors of 2. So it is a terminating decimal as the prime factors of its denominators consist only the powers of 2. So here we are getting only the powers of 2. Now the next is 1 upon 875. This we can write 1 upon 25 into 7. 25 we can write 5 to the power 2 into 7. So it is not a terminating decimal as the prime factors of the denominator consist the powers of 5 and 7. We are not getting the factors of 2 and 5. We are getting the factors of 5 and 7. So because we are not getting this, so it is not a terminating decimal number. Now you see the third one. Third one was 51 upon 300. If you will factorize 300, we will get 2 to the power 2 into 3 into 5 to the power 2. So here we are getting 2 to the power 2, and so here we will multiply it. Sorry, this 3 we can cancel after breaking the numerator. So after cancelling this, we are not getting any factor of other except 2 and 5. Right? So here factors will be 2 to the power 2 into 3 into 5 to the power 2, but we will be able to cancel the numerator by this 3. So we are not getting any factor except 2 and 5. So it is a terminating decimal as the prime factors of its denominator consist only the powers of 2 and 5. So in the denominator we are getting the powers of 2 and 5 only. 3 is not there, so that is why it is terminating. Now 117 upon 3125, if we will simplify this, here we will get the powers of 5 only. So it is a terminating decimal as the denominator has only the powers of 5 as prime factors. Right? So what we have learned, that in the denominator, if we are getting the factors of 2 and 5 only, then only it will be a terminating, otherwise it will be a non-terminating decimal. Now you see non-terminating and repeating decimals. So for this, let us consider the following example, 9 upon 110. So in this case, if we will divide 9 by 110, we will get 0.0818181 dot dot dot. So in this case, 81 is repeating. Here next number is 15 upon 7. If we will divide, you will get 2.142857. So in this case, a group of digits, that is 142857, the whole group is repeating in this case. So these are non-terminating and these are repeating decimals. So a decimal in which the digits or a set of digits, so here 2 digits, here a set of digits, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 digits, these are appearing again. So these a set of digits repeats continuously. It is called a repeating or a recurring or a periodic or a circulating decimal. Right? So observe this carefully. Now you see a question of finding the decimal by in the form of division. So in this case we will divide it continuously till we are not getting 0. If you are getting 0, then we will say it is a terminating decimal. So in this case, if we are dividing 8 by 3, so we are giving 2 times, we are getting here 2. After putting the decimal 20, then it is going 6 times, then again 2, because decimal is there, increasing 0, again it is going 6 times, again it is going. So here we are getting 2.666 again and again. So here it is non-terminating because we are not getting 0. And we can write it is equal to 2.666 ... or 2.6 bar. So it is non-terminating and repeating. Now you see some numbers here. We have to separate these numbers as rational and irrational numbers. So here which one is rational, which one is a rational number, this we will check. So here last digit is 0 and after that nothing. So this will be a terminating. Here you observe after decimal digits are repeating or not. So here we are getting 6, 5, 4, 7, 8, 9, 0. After that 6, 5, 4 and 3. So here we are not getting digits are not repeating, but ... means it is non-terminating. Next one is bar is there, it means these digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all 7 digits, a set of digits is repeating. In this case 0.120, then 1, 2, 0, 0. So here number of zeros is increasing, so no repetition. Next is 23.46794679. So a set of digits is repeating in this case. So based on this we can decide rational and irrational numbers. So rational numbers are 14.43890. This is rational. Here this is repeating, but this is also rational. This we can write in the form of P upon Q. Next is here digits are not repeating, but it is non-terminating. So it is also a rational number. Irrational numbers are here the number of zeros here 1 time, here 2 times, here 3 times. So number of zeros are increasing here. So these all comes under irrational numbers. So rational and irrational. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So out of these 5, 3 are the rational numbers and 2 are the irrational numbers. About rational and irrational I have already explained to you. Now come to the theorem. Here is a theorem. Let P be a prime number and a positive integer, and A be a positive integer. So P is a prime number and A is a positive integer. If P divides A square, then P divides A also. So in this case, this is the statement of the theorem, and we will prove that if P divides A square, or A square is divided by P, or A square is divisible by P, then we will prove that A is also divisible by P. So this is the theorem. So we will learn its proof and then we will try to understand it. What is the meaning of this? So for this you see the proof. Let the prime factorization of a number of A be as follows. So A is a number here, this A, then P1, P2, P3 into Pn. So these are the factors. For example, A is any number, say 10. So 2 into 5, 2 factors. So here A is any number and these we are getting n factors of A. So here P1, P2, P3, these are the prime numbers, not necessarily distinct. It is not necessary that these all factors may be different, may be same also, may be different also, but these are the prime numbers, right? So this is the prime factorization of number A. Now in this case it is written that if A square is divisible by P, or P divides A square. So for this we will find out the value of A square. So because A is equal to this, again A will be the same. So if we will do the square, so here A square is equal to P1 into P2 into P3 into ... into Pn whole square. So if we will write the whole square, So we'll get a square is equal to p1 into p2 into p3 into dot 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 into pn. Same thing we will write again because we want to do the whole square. So now we are getting 2 times same thing. So we will get left side a square is equal to p1 into p1 square into p2 square into p3 square into pn square. So children, here p1, p2, p3, these are the factors, prime factors. Here out of these numbers there may be, we are taking a letter p. P is any prime number here. So that may be the part of this. So that p can go below this a square. So we can say it is given that p is any prime factors and it will divide a square. So because p is a part of any factor from here, that can go under this a square. So we can write a square upon p is equal to some factor. So we can say this whole quantity is divisible because it is equal to the remaining portion. So from the uniqueness of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So here we are explaining using a fundamental theorem of arithmetic that we can write the prime factors, but these may not be in the same order. It is unique. So according to that theorem, the prime factors of a square are p1, p2, p3. Here a square is there. Here these all are the factors of a square. So here p1, p2, p3 dot 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 up to pn. So p is any one part, any one factor out of these. So by that we can divide. So since a is equal to p1, p2, p3 up to pn, so p divides a also. So we can say that a will also be divisible by p. So here once again a square is this. Out of this we can write like this. So this, and here out of these factors there is one factor p. That factor can go under this. So we can say it is a square is divisible by p. Now after that, from the first step, as you supposed a is equal to this and p is the part of this, so p can go under this a. So we can say a is also divisible by p. So from this we can say a square is divisible by p, and from this we can say a is also divisible by p. So this whole statement you can understand by this example. For this I have taken one example. If 12 square, so we can write this as 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. So these are the factors of 12 square, and this we can write 2 to the power 2 into 2 to the power 2 into 3 to the power 2. So this shows that 12 square, that is equal to 144, is divisible by any one factor of this. So here one factors, many prime factors are there, but one factor is 2. So by this factor, this 12 square is divisible. Value of 12 square is 144. So it is divisible by one factor 2. So square of any number like here, it is divisible by 2. Right? A square means 12 square here. And p means any number, any part, any prime factor from these. So here any prime factor I have taken as 2 here. So we are observing here that 12 square, that is 144, is divisible by 2. So under root of 12 square is 12. So therefore 12 will also be divisible by 2. So you can check 144 is divisible by 2. 2 7s are 14 and 2 2s are 4. And here 12 is also divisible by 2. So 12 square is divisible by 2 and 12 is also divisible by 2. Now you see the next theorem, because it is just now we have learned that a square, if a square is divisible by p, then a will also be divisible by p. So based on this I have taken one question. It is a question also, you can say it is a theorem also. So square root 2 is an irrational number, this we will prove here. So for this we will use the contradiction method. In that case, because we want to prove it is irrational, so we will suppose that it is a rational number. So let square root 2 is equal to a upon b. Let it is a rational number a upon b, where a and b are the co-prime numbers. So after that we will do the cross multiplication. So we will get b root 2 is equal to a, and then do the square. So we will get 2b square is equal to a square, or b square is equal to a square by 2. So this shows that a square by 2 means a square is divisible by 2. So therefore a square is divisible by 2. So a is divisible by 2 also. So if a square is divisible by 2, so we can say a is also divisible by 2. This we have learned in the previous theorem. So according to that, a is also divisible by 2. So we can suppose that a is, because a is divisible by 2, so it means a is a multiple of 2. So we can suppose that a is a multiple of 2 means 2 into m. So a is equal to 2m, we are supposing a multiple of 2. So in place of a we will write 2m. So on substituting a is equal to 2m, in b square is equal to a square by 2. In place of a, 2m, so 2m square is 4m square upon 2 by 2 we can cancel. So we will get b square is equal to 2m square, or b square upon 2 is equal to m square. So because 2 is in the denominator, we can say b square is divisible by 2, right? So b square is divisible by 2, so we can say b is also divisible by 2, right? Therefore a is also divisible by 2, b is also divisible by 2, but in the beginning we have already supposed that a and b are the co-prime number, they cannot have any other factor, so they cannot be divisible by this 2. So our assumption is wrong, and because, so therefore we can say square root 2 cannot be put in the form of p of a upon b, so therefore it is an irrational number. It cannot be a rational number. Now see one more example of the same type. We have to prove 6 plus root 2 is an irrational number. We will use the same method of contradiction method. So here we will suppose 6 plus root 2 is equal to a upon b, a rational number where a and b are co-prime. So we can write root 2 is equal to a upon b minus 6. Here we will take LCM, so a minus 6b upon b. Now it is of the form of p upon q. It means under root 2 is a rational number, but we have already proved that under root 2 is not a rational number, so our assumption is wrong. So therefore 6 plus root 2 is an irrational number, right? After that, you see the next question. This is based on that Euclid division lemma. I have already explained in the previous video. So question I have taken just to revise that theorem. Find SCF of two numbers 135 and 225 using Euclid division lemma. So see the solution here. We are seeing the number 135 and 225. So 225 is bigger than 135. So first of all we will check which number is bigger. After that we will suppose the bigger number as a. So let a is equal to 225 and smaller number 135. So according to Euclid division lemma, the formula is a is equal to bq plus r, where value of r is less than b and greater than equal to 0. So in place of a 225 is equal to, in place of b 135, it will go into 225 one time, so into 1 plus the remaining is 90. Now we will apply this theorem in 135 and 90. So 135 is equal to 90 into 1, it will go one time, remaining will be 45, right? So this will be the remainder here. Now this we can write 90 is equal to 45 into 2, so it is going 2 times and then the remainder is 0. So this process we are continuing till we are getting here 0. This is called remainder. So here the remainder is 0, and whenever this remainder is 0, then in equation number 3 the value of b, that is 45, will be the SCF of 135 and 225. So SCF will be 45 here because the remainder is 0 in this step. Now children, I want to start next topic, and before starting that topic I want to explain something. You try to understand. I have already explained in the previous video also when I did this chapter. This is the revision of this chapter. So at this time, once again, those who could not understand that time, because that time I taught with a paper, now I am making it here and then I am trying to explain. So for this I have taken some natural numbers starting from 1 up to 100. So we have taken all the natural numbers. Now with the help of these natural numbers I want to explain that these numbers are either odd or even. So 1, 2, 3. So 2, even, odd. So like this. So from this, what I want to teach you, that all the natural numbers can be expressed in the form of 2n, that is even number, or 2n plus 1, that is odd number. So you can see, if I take this 2 So it is the multiple of 2. So we can write 2 into 1. So 2n form, n is 1. So it is of the form 2n. Next number is 1 more than 2. So it is 2 plus 1. 2 into 1 plus 1. We can write like this. Or if you suppose take these two. Here 8. 8 is a multiple of 2. We can write 2 into 4. 2 into 4. Yes. So it is of the form 2n. So it is even number, and it is 9. It is 1 more than 2n. So it is of the form 2n plus 1. So similarly here 24. It is divisible by 2. So it is an even number. 25 is 1 more than this. So even number plus 1. Right? Then odd number plus 1. It will be an even number here again. So these all the numbers can be written in the form of either in 2n form or 2n plus 1 form. So if it is in the form of 2n, because it is a multiple of 2, so these all the numbers will be even numbers, and this is 2n plus 1. So here even number plus 1, it will be of the form odd numbers. So this shows that all the numbers, all natural numbers from 1 to 100 or up to infinity, all these numbers we can denote by 2n or by 2n plus 1. Here those numbers which are of the form 2n, these will be even numbers, and which are of the form 2n plus 1, these will be odd numbers. Right? Now see this slide. In this case, numbers again written from 1 to 100, but in this case I am taking the numbers which are multiple of 3. So here if I am taking the number 3, 4, 5, so 3 is the multiple of 3, then next number is 1 more than multiple of 3, 5 is 2 more than multiple of 3, 6 is 3 more than multiple of 3, but it will become again double of 3, so it is divisible by 3, so it is a multiple of 3. So number can be a multiple of 3, can be a multiple of 3 plus 1, can be a multiple of 3 plus 2. So from this we are observing here that all the natural numbers can be expressed in the form of either in the form of 3n or 3n plus 1 form and 3n plus 2 form. For example here 42 is divisible by 3. So it is the multiple of 3, and 43 is 1 more than the multiple of 3, and 44 is 2 more than the multiple of 3, and 45 is 3 more than the multiple of 3. So in this, if you will add this 3, so it will again become the multiple of 3. So any number in these, all these numbers can be written in the form of multiple of 3 or multiple of 3 plus 1 or multiple of 3 plus 2. So this I explained to you. Now next slide, you see here again I have taken the number from 1 to 100. Now from this I want to explain that these all the numbers can be expressed in the form of 4n. So for that I am taking from 4. So 4 is a multiple of 4 here. So 4 into 1 we can say. So it is a multiple of 4. Then 5 is 1 more than 4. So it is 1 more than multiple of 4. 6 is 2 more than the multiple of 4. 7 is 3 more than the multiple of 4. Similarly, if you take these numbers, 72, it is divisible by 4. So it is a multiple of 4. And 73 is 1 more than this. So we can say multiple of 4 plus 1, multiple of 4 plus 2, multiple of 4 plus 3. So in this case, these number, and again if you will, if you are taking multiple of 3, a multiple of 4 plus 4, it will become a multiple of 4 again. So these numbers can be written in the form of multiple of 4, multiple of 4 plus 1, multiple of 4 plus 2, multiple of 4 plus 3, multiple of 4 plus 4, like that. So again if we are taking these numbers from 1 to 100, so here, and this time I am taking multiple of 5. So all the numbers which I am taking here, these are the multiple of 5. 35 I have taken, suppose this is a multiple of 5, this is 1 more than the multiple of 5, this is 2 more than the multiple of 5, this is 3 more than the multiple of 5, this is 4 more than the multiple of 5, this is 5 more than the multiple of 5, so it will become again multiple of 5. So we are observing that any number in these natural numbers can be a multiple of 5, can be a multiple of 5 plus 1, can be a multiple of 5 plus 2, can be a multiple of 5 plus 3, can be a multiple of 5 plus 4. So here 1, 2, 3, these are the possible values of R. Similar, same method is for 6. Now see this question. And this question you can do it easily if you understood those things. So show that any odd positive integer will be of the form 6q plus 1, 6q plus 3 or 6q plus 5, where q is some integer. So according to Euclid division lemma, a is equal to bq plus r, where r is less than b and greater than equal to 0. So let a be any positive integer, and so here we can take b is equal to 6 because r is less than b, right? So possible values of remainder will be in case when r is equal to r is less than b. So if we are taking b is equal to 6, so possible value of r will be less than b. So less than 6 will be 5 numbers. So possible value of r will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in place of this r we will write 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after putting these values, we will get a is equal to bq, b is 6, q plus r is equal to 0. So this is the first equation. This I can write 2 into 3q, and it is a multiple of 2, so it is an even number, right? Next is a is equal to next number 6q plus 1. So here we are taking all the natural numbers. In those we are seeing only the multiple of 6. So these numbers can be a multiple of 6 or can be a multiple of 6 plus 1. So here in place of r we are putting 1, and this here, if you understood the previous thing, then you can understand this will be an odd number. So 6q plus 1, this we can write 2 into 3q plus 1. It is a multiple of 2, so it is even number. Even number plus 1, it will become odd number. Next is r is equal to 2. So this equation according to Euclid division lemma, it will be a is equal to 6q plus 2. This will be 2 into 3q plus 2. Here 2 into 3q is even number plus 2. So even number plus 2 we can take 2 common, so it will be an even number. Next is a is equal to 6q plus, in place of r now we can write 3. So it will be 6q plus 3, and this we can write 2 into 3q plus 3. Here 2 into 3q is even number. So even number plus 3 it will become odd number. Next is a is equal to 6q plus 4 because r is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we can write this, we can take 2 common, so it will be 3q plus 2. So whole quantity is a multiple of 2, so it will be an even number. Next is a is equal to 6q plus 5 because r can be less than b. b is 6, so it will be 5. So 6q plus 5 is equal to 2 into 3q plus 5. Here multiple of 2, so it is even number, plus 5, it will be odd number. So this above equation shows that any positive integer will be of the form 6q plus 1 or 6q plus 3 or 6q plus 5. So here we were taking odd numbers. So you can see odd numbers. This is odd number, so 6q plus 1. Here we have proved this is odd number, so this will be 6q plus 3 type. And this is odd number, this is 6q plus 5 type. So we have proved that possible numbers which are of possible odd numbers are maybe of this type or this type or this type. No other possibility. Now you see one more question of the same type. Show that the square of a positive integer is either of the form 3m or 3m plus 1 for some integer m. So by Euclid division lemma, a is equal to bq plus r, where the value of r is less than b but greater than equal to 0. So here we are taking b is equal to 3 because it is of the form of 3m. Now r is less than b, so possible value of r will be, value of r is b is 3, so possible value of r will be 0, 1 and 2. It cannot be 3. Now we will put these values of r here, and in place of b we will write 3. So these equations we can write a is equal to 3q plus 0. This after adding we can write 3q. But in this case we are checking only the squares. So if we will do the square, we will get a square is equal to, the square of 3q is equal to 9q square. This we can write 3 into 3q square. Here 3q square we can suppose as m. So this will be 3 into m type. So we are observing here a square is of 3m type. Now if we take r is equal to 1, so equation will be a is equal to bq plus r. So according to that, b is 3, q plus r is 1. Now if we will do the square, squaring both sides, so we will get a square is equal to 3q plus 1 whole square. Here formula a square plus 2ab plus b square. According to that, 9q square plus 6q plus 1. From first two terms we can take 3 common, so we will get 3 into 3q square plus 2q plus 1. Now this bracket quantity we can suppose as m. So we can write 3m plus 1. So we are observing the square of this number. Square of any positive integer can be of the form 3m plus 1. Now r is equal to 2 is also possible. So a is equal to b, q, b is 3. So 3q plus 2. Now if you want to do the square, because you want to check the square of any number, so if you will do the square, it will be a plus b whole square. So here a square, that is 9q square plus 2ab, so it will be 12q plus 4. Now this 4 we can break. We can, in place of 4 we can write 3 plus 1, and after writing this, what will happen, from first 3 terms we can take 3 common. So we will get 3 into, in the bracket, 3q square plus 4q plus 1 plus 1. So this is equal to 3m plus 1. So m is equal to 3q square plus 4q plus 1. So above equation shows that the square of any positive integer will be of the form 3m or 3m plus 1. So that's all for today's class. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. I am revising. So from my side, I have completed the chapter. I explained all the concept to you. Now you all are requested to complete all 3 exercises in your notebooks. No need to send it to me. You do all these, do a good practice, and get good marks in your board exam. And on the base of this, I will give you one assignment, number 9, tomorrow. So you all are requested to submit it tomorrow. So today I will give, and tomorrow you will submit. So on according to time. So one day I am giving to complete these questions. I will not give more questions. So I will send it through WhatsApp. So please note the timing. I will inform. I will write on that assignment what is the time of submission. Right? Thank you. Bye bye. God bless you. Thank you.